The movie opens in 2016 with a tense scene at a Philippines airport. A group of hardened criminals, extradited from South Korea, are about to be escorted back to their homeland. However, before they can reach the terminal, a man identified as a member of the Victor family launches a desperate attack, seeking revenge against the criminals for unknown grievances. Strapped with a suicide vest, the man detonates himself, causing a catastrophic explosion that claims the lives of numerous individuals, including some of the criminals. Fast forward to 2020. The South Korean police, determined to avoid a repeat of the 2016 tragedy, have successfully apprehended another group of 20 dangerous fugitives hiding in the Philippines. To prevent any potential incidents during air transport, they opt for a more secure method, transporting the criminals back to South Korea via a heavily guarded cargo ship, the Frontier Titan. This time, however, the stakes are even higher. The criminals being transported are far more ruthless and dangerous than the previous batch. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, the government entrusts the mission to an elite team of highly trained officers, specifically chosen for their experience in handling high-risk individuals. Among the criminals, one stands out as particularly menacing: Jongdu, a man convicted of raping and murdering 30 women. His demeanor reflects a complete lack of remorse, and he openly mocks and insults the lead officer, Sequor, even spitting in his face. This act of defiance enrages Sequor, who responds with brutal force, making it clear to Jongdu and the other criminals that they should not underestimate the authorities. The scene shifts to the Seoul Police headquarters, where we are introduced to the command team overseeing the operation. Led by a man named Daewon, the team meticulously monitors the Frontier Titan's journey as it sails across the ocean. Daewon briefs Sequor and his team on the ship's layout, emphasizing the secure detention cells designed to hold 2 prisoners each, with dedicated officers assigned for round-the-clock surveillance. Upon boarding the Frontier Titan, Sequor lays down the law, outlining strict rules for the criminals to follow. While most react with expected defiance, one prisoner, Lee, remains unusually quiet and observant, shrouded in an air of mystery. The ship also carries a group of female criminals, including one named Nyuk, who is notorious for murdering her husband and in-laws. Overseeing their security is a female officer, Daeyeon. Meanwhile, a medical team, consisting of a doctor and his assistant, Yeonji, is on board to provide medical assistance in case of emergencies. Yeonji, struggling to adjust to the confined environment of the ship, remains oblivious to a secret the doctor is harboring. He has brought along a collection of drugs and medical equipment not typically carried on such missions. While the kitchen staff prepares meals for the crew and criminals, the doctor discreetly makes his way to the ship's engine room, carrying his mysterious supplies. It is revealed that he was tasked with administering a powerful sedative to the most dangerous criminal on board, codenamed Alpha. Alpha, rendered unconscious by the drug, is being transported under extreme secrecy due to his classified status. Daewon, back at headquarters, pores over confidential documents related to Alpha. He is aware of a specific purpose behind Alpha's covert transfer, a purpose he has deliberately kept hidden from Sequor and his team. Under the cover of darkness, Jongdu retrieves a hidden wire and skillfully picks the lock of his handcuffs. Once free, he passes the wire to his cellmate, enabling him to escape as well. It becomes chillingly clear that the kitchen staff are not who they seem. They are actually Jongdu's accomplices, disguised as cooks, who infiltrated the ship with the sole purpose of freeing him. As per their plan, Jongdu and his allies launch a coordinated attack at midnight, ruthlessly eliminating any crew members who attempt to stop them. They seize control of the ship's control room, cutting off all communication networks to prevent any calls for help. Using a ruse, Jongdu lures a guard into his cell and overpowers him, killing him instantly. His accomplices join him, swiftly dispatching the remaining guards in the vicinity. Alerted to the unfolding chaos, Sequor rallies his team, including Daeyeon, to confront the escaped criminals. They reach the control room only to find the crew members dead, replaced by Jongdu's imposters. A fierce battle ensues, with Sequor and Daeyeon ultimately prevailing against Jongdu's men. Daeyeon discovers a surviving crew member and frantically asks for a communication device to call for help. The crew member directs them to a satellite phone located in the engine room. Meanwhile, Jongdu releases all the prisoners, including Lee, who refuses to join their takeover plan, sensing imminent danger. Jiangdu proceeds with his plan, successfully taking control of the Frontier Titan. The sounds of gunfire force the doctor and his assistant to barricade themselves inside their room, desperate to avoid involvement in the escalating violence. Jiangdu arrives at the engine room, where another criminal, Kunbi, is disposing of the bodies of the slain guards in a walk-in refrigerator. Unbeknownst to them, a leak in the refrigerator's drainage pipe allows blood to drip onto the face of the unconscious Alpha. The blood awakens Alpha from his drug-induced slumber, and he breaks free from his restraints. Siqu and his team reach the detention area, only to find a scene of carnage. Their fellow officers slaughtered and the criminals gone. They rush towards the engine room. Jiangdu, having reached the engine room first, destroys the satellite phone just as Siqu and his team arrive. A confrontation erupts, with both groups engaging in a deadly firefight. Meanwhile, Alpha, now fully awake, enters the fray, brutally killing a criminal with terrifying ease. Despite being blind, Alpha possesses heightened senses, allowing him to perceive his surroundings through sound and smell. He moves with superhuman speed and strength, effortlessly dispatching his opponents with single, devastating blows. Witnessing Alpha's overwhelming power, Jiangdu attempts to flee, leaving a trail of bodies in his wake. However, Alpha relentlessly pursues him, quickly catching up and engaging him in a brutal fight. Despite Jiangdu's reputation for violence, he is no match for Alpha's inhuman abilities. Alpha savagely beats him before finally delivering the killing blow. Siqu, Lee, Yanji, and another prisoner manage to escape Alpha's initial onslaught. However, Alpha catches up, attacking Siqu. Lee tries to distract Alpha, leading to a brief but intense struggle. They narrowly escape through an automatic steel door just before Alpha can reach them. Unable to contact Siqua's team, Daewoo resorts to analyzing satellite imagery to understand the situation on the Frontier Titan. He is horrified by the evidence of the massacre. He receives a call from a mysterious figure known as the CEO, who is already aware of the carnage. The CEO orders Daewoo to clean up the mess, revealing a connection to Alpha through a matching tattoo on his chest. This suggests that the CEO orchestrated Alpha's transport for a specific, sinister purpose. Two surviving crew members attempt to escape on a life raft but are intercepted and killed by Alpha. Yanji, witnessing the horrifying scene from her cabin window, is caught and killed by Alpha. The doctor, terrified, flees and informs Siqu about the unstoppable killing machine. Siqu investigates Alpha's background, learning from the doctor about his role in sedating the dangerous individual. He realizes the true extent of Alpha's abilities and his potential for unstoppable violence. Siqu orders the doctor and the remaining survivors to flee while he searches for other survivors. Kunbi and Maoong, having joined the other escaped criminals, are suddenly confronted by Alpha. They attempt to escape in an elevator, but Alpha relentlessly pursues them, shooting through the ceiling. Siqu arrives just in time to save Maoong, but Kunbi is crushed by the falling elevator. Siqu mistakenly believes that Alpha perished along with Kunbi. However, Alpha emerges from the wreckage and advances towards him. Siqu, knowing he is no match for Alpha, fights him anyway, protecting Maoong. In a desperate attempt to save her, he locks her inside the walk-in refrigerator before facing Alpha alone. A brutal and bloody fight ensues, with Siqu managing to injure Alpha. However, Alpha's regenerative abilities render the injuries insignificant. He overpowers and kills Siqu. Witnessing Siqua's death, Maoong hides amongst the bodies, feigning death. Alpha, unaware of her presence, leaves the refrigerator. Meanwhile, the remaining survivors, including Lee, discover documents detailing Alpha's origins. They learn that in 1943, Alpha was a soldier subjected to horrific experiments by the Japanese military in a bid to create super soldiers. A doctor, fascinated by Alpha's superhuman abilities, collected information about his enhanced strength, speed, and senses, as well as his apparent immortality. The film then flashes back to the past, showing high-ranking military officials celebrating the success of their Superman project. Their celebration is cut short when Alpha, the experiment subject, suddenly breaks free and slaughters everyone present. Back in the present, Daewoo arrives at the Frontier Titan with an elite force. They are members of a secret organization and inject themselves with a serum designed to grant them alpha-like abilities. Upon boarding the ship, they encounter Daeyeon, who pleads for help. Shockingly, Daewoo shoots her, revealing his true objective, to capture Alpha. He proceeds to eliminate all survivors, sparing only Lee, whom he recognizes. It is revealed that Lee has a connection to Alpha and the CEO, sharing the same identifying tattoo. He intentionally got himself arrested to infiltrate the organization responsible for his past suffering. Lee's backstory unfolds. He was kidnapped and subjected to a secret project called Wolf Hunting, aimed at creating super soldiers. The experiment was deemed a failure, and Lee was declared dead. However, he miraculously survived, proving the experiment's partial success. He escaped, built a new life, got married, and had a son. However, the secret organization, led by Daewoo, discovered Lee's survival and brutally murdered his family. Now consumed by vengeance, Lee seeks to destroy the organization and its creators. In a final confrontation, Alpha attacks Daewoo and his elite force. A fierce battle ensues, with Alpha easily overpowering the enhanced soldiers. However, Daewoo, empowered by the serum, manages to injure and ultimately kill Alpha. He then turns his attention to Lee, engaging him in a final, desperate struggle. Despite Daewoo's enhanced abilities, Lee proves to be a formidable opponent. After a grueling fight, Lee manages to throw Daewoo overboard and jumps into the sea after him. The film's final twist reveals that there was another soldier experimented on alongside Alpha in 1943. This soldier, even more powerful than Alpha, formed the secret organization to continue the research into creating super soldiers. Lee was one of his subjects. The CEO is shown meeting with a young boy, revealed to be Lee's son, who survived the attack on his family. The boy possesses his father's superhuman genes, making him the first naturally born super soldier. The CEO plans to continue his experiments on the boy. The film concludes with Lee, having survived his fall, emerging from the ocean. He possesses the same superhuman abilities as Alpha and sets off on a mission of vengeance, determined to dismantle the secret organization and avenge his family.